As arborists, we get asked a lot of the time whether or not a tree should be removed. And so let's look at an example of one that may be a better candidate for removal and one that may be a better candidate for preservation. This tree is a good example of one that may be a better candidate for removal than trying to preserve. If you look around it, we'll see where we have the utility box, we have a fire hydrant. And so as this tree gets bigger and bigger, it's going to encroach more and more on this area over here. And whenever it does that, it has the potential to intertwine with stuff with its roots, lift some of this stuff up. And so this is probably a good option for removal as opposed to trying to preserve because of the future problems it's going to have. This one, even though we have the sidewalk right next to it, we don't have all those other issues where we're dealing with utilities. And so this one may actually be a good candidate for trying to preserve or doing corrective action to make sure it can be healthy and stay healthy, because the only issue we may really have here is it might lift up the sidewalk. You know, maybe in the future it can get over here and mess with the curb or the concrete, but that's pretty minimalistic damage that can be corrected or isn't that big of an issue. In an area like this where we have a bunch of trees grouped around a larger tree that we want to keep, it may be a good idea to remove some of these smaller ones adjacent to that bigger one, because these smaller guys are going to compete with the larger one for sunlight, space, and water. In this situation, we would recommend removing the smaller trees so that the mature tree can survive and thrive.